Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts as the market burns. Here behind me, SoFi, ticker symbol SOFI. I've been talking about for months, about really since I started the channel, SoFi coming down to around $6 a share. And finally, that did happen today, hitting a low during market hours of $6.01, filling this gap here at 603. There is still another gap to the downside around 541, but maybe that one never gets filled. And so, I just wanted to do this stream while the market's open. I thought it'd be fun because it seems like there's a lot of panic. And this could be, great opportunity to be buying the dip. A lot of people getting emotional about, things just crashing and burning. And I don't necessarily think that's going to happen, or at least not, in a straight line. I think that we will see some dead cat bounces, which is why the stream was titled that last night. And that is basically what we're starting the week with here. SoFi right now being down 3% on the day. But if we measure that from the bottom there, it's up 7% from the lows. So, I think it's good to just, take measured moves, be measured in actions, and, not just throwing everything at these dips. But also recognizing that they might be some really nice opportunities. So I just wanted to do this stream. Mondays, I usually have a number of orders filled, usually selling covered calls at the start of the week. And I actually forgot to place those this morning before open because there's just so much going on with the markets. There's some interesting stuff I probably want to go over. And I just also want to know, I'm probably not going to, well, maybe I'll put timestamps on this, never mind. Before I do get into, just exploring the charts, having some fun with that, let's see, I'm going to throw this up here. So if you do enjoy these streams, make sure you like them, like all the videos that you do enjoy, and always share your thoughts, whether in the live chat or the comments down below in the videos. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos and streams like this. Thank you so much for being here. And so, I just wanted to look over at SOXS. I had a position in that. I had been accumulating it over the course of the year. And, I actually sold during pre-market, and I saw it go up a little bit higher than what I sold it at. Let's see. Oh, this is making my heart go a little bit. I saw it go up to 42, 420. I sold my position at 39.69. Why? Because it corresponded with a level that stood out to me, and also just 69 being fun, because I didn't know if it'd get to exactly 40. And so if we look at the daily chart, that level that I'm talking about is this gap fill here. So pretty cool right there. So on May 2nd, we got a close at a price of 37.17. And so, I guess it, went past that. I was thinking it might go past it, and we did see that. So, that gap filled, and I exited my position at a price of 39.69. Price is currently trading below that. And now, I had drawn this dip buy level here, this gap fill. I could actually see this being the next gap fill around, $28. And so maybe I'd want to re-enter that. I did not swap into going long on semiconductors, which would be, I just learned about SOXL, which is 3x leverage long semiconductors, whereas this one's short. Makes sense with the ticker, the SOXS, SOXL, but SOXX, from that dip that we saw, that's up 5%, not crazy, but that's not leveraged. If we look over at the 3x leverage one, that is up 17% from the bottom there. So when I sold my SOXS position, I could have swapped it into SOXL, but instead, I've just got more cash on the side. I have been buying the dips and some things, but just dollar cost averaging into them, not being too aggressive. But yeah, I mean, this is the kind of market that we're in right now. I feel like we don't need to, we shouldn't be necessarily going all in all along. We should be able to pivot so that when we do see dips, we can buy. When we see rips, we can sell, and so on. And so, yeah, I mean, just looking at the Nvidia chart here, this was a dip buying opportunity, rip, sell the rip. And then, we've just had this bounces on the way down. We're seeing that again. Low for Nvidia on the day of 90.69. 69 is a favorite number of the market. And that corresponds with the 786 here at 89.66. So being, just a little over $1 above that level. It was the low so far today. And, I think that's in. And if one would have not been panicking and bought the dip, one would be up about 10% right now. So I think it's really good to, not be panicking, not be emotional, and just, whatever your levels are, go over them on the chart and trade based on a plan, not trade based on emotion. I think a lot of people were probably selling thinking this is just going to keep going down, and we're in fact at a bottom. I'm looking at Nvidia here, but I think that goes pretty much across the board. A lot of stuff is bouncing right now, which is Dead Cat Bounce, the name of last night's stream, or just Dead Cat. I left the bounce out. It looks like, apparently you can see my orders pop up, but Ed blocks them. So I think a covered call and charge point got filled in order. So the strike is above my average. So no worries if it does go up higher. That's just kind of my way to average in and out of positions, is by selling cash secured puts or selling covered calls. I like doing that. But yeah, I mean, I like plug, I had a level, looks like I bought the dip on Hycroft mining today. Let's look at that chart. I had a level drawn here at, I guess, 236. So that was up here. Yeah, so I guess I'm negative in my position. But, I've been waiting for the dip for a while. And now I have 100 shares, so I could sell a covered call. A covered call strike is $3, so, above my average. And, that expires August 16th. So maybe I make some money on that. But, I could have bought, a lot more aggressively at 219. I do have that level highlighted here in orange, really just being kind of an arbitrary one. Let's see, I heard another noise. So maybe another order was filled, but I'm not seeing an indicator popping up behind Ed. But yeah, I mean, I think that what we're seeing today is a dip buying opportunity. Let's see, Palantir. This is one, earnings today after the close, just put a video out on them. I was thinking about buying a put, I believe. Yeah, buying a put before earnings, thinking that price would go down because there were puts bought, over $500,000 worth on Friday. But then following this down move, it's like, that's too risky now, because it does look like, it's come down to these levels that stood out to me in the video I just put out. But for me, I believe I added a share. I'm a small dollar cost averager with a stock that's over $10 a share. I don't have tons of money. But, I did buy another share at 22.36. And then got another share. Usually I just do like one a week, but I decided to get another one at 21.85. My average is probably around 24, so I'm in the red. But this is not really a swing trade for me. This is a long-term conviction, build a position over time kind of play. And let's see. We could, I see that, maybe there's one person watching now. I'm not sure, but if there's a stock that you're interested in, maybe that's on this list. These are ones that I hold. Before I actually get into that, before I take requests, I want to share the news that, I put out a video on Tesla after the earnings call highlighting this golden pocket here. And I said, hey, I think 185 is a buy. Price was up here, following earnings up here, forming a bear flag. And, I say 185, nobody cares, nobody listens to me, nobody likes to hear that their favorite stock's going down. And, I just said, whether it does, whether it doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to place an order there and I'm going to forget about it. We hit a low today of $82. And let's see, during pre-market hit a low of 81.14. So, I got one share. I'm not a big player at 185, and I'm currently up over $10 right now. And I'm not planning on trading that. I'm not planning on swinging it, even if we are in a bear market. Maybe I would if we get up to some resistance or something. But I plan on just kind of holding that. But I'm proud of it. It's been a couple weeks with just 185 sitting on the side. And that paid off so far. But maybe tomorrow we see price at 167 at the 786 here. So who knows? But yeah, happy to take requests. Some other things that, I've been doing, building positions with cash secured puts. Another contract, charge point, covered call, sold. So, making a little bit of money on the shares that I do hold. And, with strikes above my average. So no worries if it does fill. But yeah, here looking at LAZR, we can see that, I really just kind of highlighted for myself, didn't have an order placed at a price of 130. And, I placed an order to sell a cash secured put that would be with a strike of 150, but I set the premium to 50 cents. So my buy price would effectively be $1. And, I doubt that's going to be filled. But, I thought I'd just, try it out. And if price hovers around 130, maybe that's a good thing. But I just see that, this purple downtrend, that price could be going lower. So, so I'm excited about that, but I haven't placed an order on it. Tilray, I only have one share left. I was kind of stupid. I sold all of my shares except for one up here just in case I was wrong. Wanted to just be following it and stuff. I was right. That was the top. I sold on August 1st. Price came down. 170 is like my buy level. We hit it. But I also just think that this could be, with what's going on in the market, maybe this is a little too speculative. So I'm kind of just chilling. And I do have an order placed to sell a cash secured put with a strike of $2 a share, but premium would be, let's see, I think 29 cents. So that would put my average buy at 169 a share. So just one penny below 170 for 100 shares to pick that up. If that feels great, if not, that's fine. It just makes my account have some cash on the side. So that's one of the things I really like about cash secured puts. If I'm right about a level, a price coming down to 170 like I was with Tilray, that's great. But if the cash secured put fills, then, I pick up 100 shares at, whether it's 170 or 169, that's great. That's my level. But if I'm wrong and it keeps going lower, that my average is just, right at 170, 169, so not a big deal. But if it bounces, then I just get to keep that premium. I get to collect that premium. And if it does go lower, then I can kind of reassess. And if it never comes down to my level, if the cash secured put order does not get filled, that limit order does not get hit, then I just have cash sitting on the side. And so I like that about cash secured puts. It helps me pace myself. I like that. I think that's good. Let's look up at, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's look at AMC. So I believe I had an order placed at, I believe 175. I think I picked up 6 shares there, so nothing crazy, but that was with the plan of, if it goes lower, I think I picked up 10 more at like 460, and then about 10 more at 48. I'm not sure, maybe right around there. But my position is now 10 shares away from being divisible by 100, just for selling covered calls. But my average is, around 10. So if I need to get 10 more shares to get up to that 100 divisible by 100 share position, that's cool. I'm just chilling. I'll just add another share every day until I get up to that point. But I think I have my next buy order at, I should have done it at 420 just, because I'm stupid. But yeah, we hit a low of 414 during pre-market. I just didn't want to get too aggressive. But yeah, I did 410 because that was the low over here, this yellow line. That, my eyes were just caught by, hey, WS, what's up? Good morning. Yeah, I'm basically just going over kind of like not necessarily the trades that I've done, but just, orders that I'm thinking about placing or have placed. Just trying to keep it cool. I think that, a lot of people, I just got the sense that everybody's, panicking and stuff. And now is, while the bounce that we see in any of these stocks, the market in general, may not be long lasted. It's that panic at open that is, the opportunity. And here, like AMC, whatever stock, I'm not trying to push AMC or anything, but you could look at this in all the stocks, it's down on the day over 6%, but from those lows, it's up almost 5%. So these are dip buying opportunities. And I have to say, I did cash out on pretty much all of my short positions, which are SOXS, which is semiconductors, and then a couple on the S&P 500, one on NASDAQ. I still do have one on the S&P 500, which is ticker symbol SH, just because it didn't, my average is too high. And I plan on exiting that position as soon as I can, once I get to break even, because it's not... I'd rather play with the leverage, I think, with those. And so WS is saying, why is the market red? I've been on the sidelines. Let's see. Market is red. I think it's because, what was Jerome Powell talking about last week? That there's likely going to be a rate cut in September at the next meeting. And that would be I think people are pricing in a 50 basis point or 0.5%. Wait, is it? I think it's, or is it 5%? Whatever, 5 basis point rate cut. And so, I think that that's just kind of an overreaction, because what will probably happen, it's all about, I feel like Jerome Powell's, the Fed's role is to say something to get people to fear that something very, crazy is going to happen. Like there's going to be a 50 basis point rate cut in September. But then because the market responds like this, then Jerome Powell is going to then say, okay, well, because the market's kind of corrected, I'm just going to do a 25 basis point rate cut in September. And then so at that point, then it's only 25, it's not 50. Then we see a bounce. And so I think right now we're pricing in that 50 basis point. It's an overreaction, and we're going to see a bounce. Also, my understanding of unemployment, more people are unemployed. The unemployment rate is going up. I believe, I'm not exactly sure, but I believe this response in the market is due to, Fed rate cut, results on unemployment, also the non-farms payroll, whatever that is. I'm not an economist, so, but I think it's all of that, just kind of broader picture stuff. That people are really bearish. And one thing, I feel like kind of a jerk bringing this up, but, I'm going to go back to semiconductors, Nvidia. We're seeing this massive bounce here. And there's a person on Twitter who I've teased and said, are you related to Jim Cramer? Because they're always talking about natural gas and about the bottom being in for natural gas. It never is. It always goes lower. And this person was tweeting this morning, that, NVIDIA is just going to continue bleeding, all this stuff. And I wanted to respond, just about, sounds like the bottom's in. Because this person's always saying the bottom's in with natural gas. Natural gas, has come down since those posts. So, there's a bounce here, 13% up from the low of today up to the high of today so far. We're only, 50 minutes into the market. And it's like, I just feel like a lot of people are just responding to the market with emotions. And I think that's really just like large firms, Wall Street, whatever, recognizing, hey, the top's in over here. And so we need to be, taking our profits. How are we going to do that? We're going to dump over the weekend. Retail is going to panic a bunch. They're going to sell. Price is going to drop even more. And then once the dust settles, there's going to be, those big firms are going to buy the dip after everybody panics. And then price is going to go up again, like this bounce here, on Wednesday last week, or, really, I guess Tuesday last week on July 31st. Nvidia closed the month of July at a price of 117. And I'm sure people were on the next day, on the first day of August, thinking, oh, this is just going to keep going higher. But that's, a bear market rally. And so like Nvidia from the close on the 30th went up just between that close and the following day's close. That went up over 12%. And so people are like, oh yeah, this is going to keep going. This is going to keep going higher. And then when people start to think, oh yeah, I'm buying the dip because it's ripping now, that's when the big positions, the big firms dump onto retail. And, we're just going to see that repeat and repeat and repeat until we actually get to the bottom, wherever that is, whenever that is. And then that's when people are capitulating and saying, I just screwed up. I'm not making any money in this market. I've given up. And that's the time to buy. And so right now, I'm not going too heavy in anything. I'm not doing anything too crazy. I trimmed my short position. I still have one, but I trimmed my short positions. I was going over this earlier, but SOXS, I sold my position, which I had started buying. You can look back on the channel. I started doing videos at the very beginning of the year on time to short the market, time to short semiconductors. I was way early, but I just averaged into my position, buying one share a week at a time. My average was around 35, around current price. But, and I was thinking last night before I was going to bed, I had an order placed at 35, a limit sell order. And I was thinking, I just want to break even, just want a breath of fresh air. And then I have some more capital on the side to pivot into other things. And then I recognized, well, futures and everything, it looks like the market's going to continue down tomorrow, at least open lower. I'm going to adjust my limit sell to thinking, like there's this gap here. We got to close. Actually, there are multiple gaps. That gap was filled. But, this gap here, the close on May 2nd was at a price of 37.17. So I'm thinking maybe price is going to go up to at least 37.17. Maybe it goes higher, though. People are emotional. Things are going to go lower than they expect, and that's going to be the dip. Seeing this at 382 level here at 39.37, maybe it gets to that. Maybe it gets to 40, or maybe it almost gets to 40 and that order doesn't fill. And so I was thinking, well, I'll just place an order at 39.69, just have fun with it. That order was filled. I think, I'm not a big player. I made like $80 on it. So nothing too crazy, but now I got all that capital on the side for doing other stuff, and I've been buying the dips of other things, not too aggressively, just getting averages down. But yeah, the high for today during market hours was $40. So I can't imagine a limit order at 40 would have necessarily been filled. 39.99, yeah, probably. But so that's why I went with 39.69, just being fun and being lower than 40 and, being around this range that I thought there'd be some resistance. There was prior resistance here. Why wouldn't we see resistance there again, especially filling this gap? And now we got this gap to the downside, so I could reaccumulate those shares that I just sold at a price of around $28. And, maybe it comes down to this gap at 22.61. That's why I don't go too heavy. And then so I could take advantage of this. There's an ad coming up. I'm going to skip it. I'm just going to type, actually, I think if I hover over, yeah, there's this. WS is saying, why the dip or more than that? Buy the dip or more than that. Yeah, I think that as long, it depends on time frame. And so for me, I talked about, Tilray. I just recognized these big wicks up here, and I thought, that could be a topping signal. I was in the green. I sold all but one of my shares, just thinking, in case I'm wrong, I want to hold it to see that I'm wrong. My buy level's around 170. I didn't sell a cash secured put. I do have an order placed that would then put my buy of 100 shares at a price of 169. Again, just having fun with it. and being at my level, but it could come down to this purple, uptrend, or 161 down here. The low could go lower than that. But I've decided I placed the cash secured put order, the limit buy or the limit sell, which I then get shares at 169 if it closes this week below $2. And so, I placed that after it had bounced because I just don't want to be too aggressive with my buys. And this seems, unfortunately, to be a little bit speculative. I feel like before, and I feel like this is also kind of a political play, the cannabis sector, because it's going to be on ballots. People are going to be voting for it, and people are going to be campaigning for it, wanting to get those who, want cannabis to be legal in the U.S. or in their state. And so I feel like that could be political, but I feel like with how the politics have kind of, morphed with Biden stepping down. I don't want to say any trigger words or anything, but the ear thing with Trump. I think that the tone, this is not in a normal election. It's a very odd one. So I don't think that things like campaigning on cannabis is necessarily going to be a big deal. And I think that just the market overall, it's not good to be in speculative plays. And so, I am these are all, the stuff that I hold for the most part. A lot of it's kind of speculative, but also it's, I don't go too heavy. And I try to buy based on levels. The weekly trading plan that I do, WS, you should have access to that as a member. I try to, I go over a number of levels in my videos, but in the trading plan, I try to go over, I'm going to be patient and wait for, whatever type of stuff, which, if I do a video on that, nobody wants to hear it. That kind of video doesn't get views. But I think that's the way to trade. People, watch videos on YouTube kind of in especially related to the stock market or crypto, in kind of an emotional response. And so that's kind of the way to get views. But the way to trade is to not do it emotionally. And so, I'm just trying to pace myself and taking advantage of this. And because I was selling my short positions during the pre-market, I now have cash on the side. Normally, the past couple of months, I've been adding a little bit to my account every week, which, is bad practice. But now that I was able to take some profits on those, I don't have to add anymore this week, and I can take advantage of dips. I did buy one call on Plug. They got earnings coming up, spent $8 on it, have another order for one to fill for $7. So they put my average 2 calls, strike a 250, expiring not this week, but next week. They put my average at $7.50. I'm risking $15, and I'd sell whatever happens after earnings. I'd sell right after earnings. So that'd be like Friday, taking the loss or whatever. And that's based on unusual whale alerts, or not alerts, but the flow that I've been looking up. And speaking of that, I've been streaming for about 3 hours, just kind of rambling about positions that stand out to me. And so I might switch over to unusual whales to look at that. But I did just kind of want to, so since I started the stream, I've sold some covered calls that are all at strikes above my average. One of those being Hycroft mining. I guess I'll go over that real quick before I do get into unusual whales. And so my thesis with this is, I'm fine to hold Hycroft. I'm fine to add more if it goes lower. But, and I've just really been dollar cost averaging 1 share at a time for a while. And so what I've done with, I'm just going to look it up on my phone because I have all the information on my phone. 1 second. Let's see here. What am I looking at? Hycroft. Okay. And so, just so you guys know, I had bought the dip today at, let's see, I believe 236. It's tough for me to pull it up on my phone actually because I had sold the covered call, but I believe my average was around 240 or something. Actually, I think I can pull it up. I've got you guys won't be able to see it, but I've got my keep record of my trades and stuff. in a spreadsheet because I'm a nerd. But yeah, my average for Hycroft looks like it's $2.43, 100 shares. And so what I did is I was looking at the options table for, let's see, this is calls. And, unfortunately, they're only monthly. Unfortunately, they're only in $1 increments. But I was thinking, oh, well, if my average is below 3, I could sell a covered call, pick up $5 for this 5-cent premium. And then if, it closes on the 16th above $3, then I'm forced out of my position, take in a 50-cent per share profit, more than that, over $50. And, I'm forced out of my position. So it's a nice way to kind of remove the emotions from trading. And, and if it doesn't close above 3, maybe it closes above 243, my average, and then I can decide then whether I want to sell for a small profit, sell another covered call, or, buy more if it's lower. But I do feel like, it's come to this level, this green uptrend that, seems like a dip buying level. And I had bought mine at 236. I could have, if I just really wanted to get those shares because I was being patient this whole time waiting for it to come down. And, high of 293, waited for 236. I could have waited for almost $2. What was it during the pre-market? 211. I guess pre-market wasn't lower than during the day. 211.4 was the low. But yeah, maybe this doesn't hold and it goes lower, so it's not a big deal. Hey, what's up? Antoine, how's it going? Welcome. Yes, I've just been kind of going over, basically just kind of summarizing some of the trades that I've done this morning, trying to not be too emotional. I think Hycroft is not necessarily a great example because it is not only red on the day having gap down, but it's also, low, but it is, the candle's red, but from the low of today, current price is up about 4.5%. So, was this a good dip buying opportunity? I'm not sure, but I think a lot of these stocks, Luminar came to level of 130. I didn't buy any. After the stream, I might pick up, in all honesty, I might pick up 100 shares around 130. Earnings coming up. This is one that, is kind of like a long-term hold for me, or I'm fine for it to be a long-term hold. And so I'm fine to add another 100 shares to my position at this dip. And if it goes lower following earnings, that's fine. I'll reassess then. But it's 100 shares at 130, that's $130. It's more than buying one share at a time, that's for sure. But that's something that I can risk because I was taking profits on short positions that I had. And so I'm just going to type up because the little heart emoji blocks. It says bad day for trades, good day for dip buys. I don't know if it says bad A, so I don't know if it's bad day for trades, but good day for dip buys. So I think that I just saw during pre-market, I saw people, somebody was posting, this person, I don't want to call them out, but this person was always talking about the bottom is in for natural gas, and they're always wrong. And they were talking about Nvidia when it was down here during the pre-market, that this is just going to keep going down. It's going to keep going down. And I had asked this person if they're related to Jim Cramer a while ago, because they never called the bottoms on natural gas. It always goes lower. And, in fact, they're wrong here saying that this is going to go lower. Nvidia is now up over 10% from its low of the day. So I think this is a really nice example of it being a great time to buy the dip. So yeah, but with that being said, I'm going to switch over to unusual whales. I don't know what's up on my, unusual whales right here. And I might also just check Twitter to see if anything's going on here. Let's see. Yeah, nothing that I see. So I will, just look at the flow over here, and I might, restart this filter, and I'll kind of go over, whoa, this is crazy. This is live. So I might have to freeze it once I do set all this stuff, but I'm going to set for expirations of, let's see, this coming Friday and the following Friday, which is the 16th, just so we maybe get some, idea of short term trades. Premium, I'm going to set the minimum to 1,000. If that gets the right number, 0. Sometimes this goes really slow, which is either my computer or unusual whales. Let's see. I got to do 1 0 at a time. There's 1,000. And then I'm also going to do out of the money, because we've seen this, crazy move. And then we can just look at what's in the table and maybe get an idea of what's going on. And just trying to, kind of remove some of the clutter. I'm going to do the volume over open interest. I'm not really too familiar with this, but in kind of a tutorial, how to do searches on unusual whales, this is set to 2. So I'm just going to set it to 1. And so that is basically like that there's, open interest is small, volume is really big. And so that's saying that there are large trades being placed that are pushing that open interest up higher, or, pulling it lower. So it's kind of like a move that could really determine a direction. And yeah, so Antoine, yeah, I agree that Nvidia will go to 99 or less soon, but in any bear market, there are bear market rallies, which I think are also referred to as rip your face off rallies. And right now we're seeing that. So maybe we see or this is a dead cat bounce, same thing. Just like the stream last night was called Dead Cat, because I thought that we might be seeing a dead cat bounce. I didn't think it'd be happening so soon. But yeah, I mean, so for me, on the note of Nvidia going to 99 or less soon, so I plan on reestablishing my short position. I'm going to switch back to the charts here just to go over semis. SOXS, my average was around 35 around current price. And, maybe I shouldn't have sold. Maybe this is going to continue to go higher, which would mean Nvidia and semiconductors are going to continue to go lower. But I feel like there's this gap here around 28. And so I could start buying back my shares around 28. And then really I see this gap down here at 22.61. There's also another gap down here. So there are, levels to be adding more back in. And so for me, I'm just going to wait on the sidelines and see what happens. But I was able to take advantage of the volatility and capitalize on it. So I think it's good to, kind of be measured with that. And yeah, I'm just going to look here. I'm looking for alert notices here. Yeah, so this is on, okay, so this was placed this is East Coast time. This is 10:36, which is just, a few minutes ago. This is a put, puts that were bought. Premium, though, is just over 10,000. So as far as Wall Street bets goes, a YOLO is 10,000 or more by definition. And so this could just be, a gambler on Reddit on Wall Street bets, YOLOing 10,000. And the average fill price was 16. And so NU is a semiconductor stock. And, so maybe they're expecting that we have bounced and that price will go lower. And so that would be, the dead cat bounce, short the top, and then it comes down. But, I would want to see, especially with, this is like sorry, I'm just going to pull this up again. The stock price is 10.56. Is that right? And so, yeah, I mean, that's fairly cheap for a semiconductor stock. It's not like, hundreds or thousands, like Nvidia would be. Let's see, why does it pop up? Yeah, so these are, around $100. Yeah, oh, and one thing I should also do is I should probably look at Bitcoin, but I'll keep looking at this for a minute more. And this is, live flow. So this stuff's all pretty recent. Now we got some Coinbase calls. So maybe we should look at Coinbase. Let's see what size of order this was. Just over 10,000. So this is a Wall Street Bets YOLO. So take it with a grain of salt. How about these are calls expiring this week with these that were sold. So they're betting that Coinbase is going to continue to go down, or at least they're, taking their profits or whatever if they had a call, and they're betting on price going down. This is 100% this is 100% bid side, which means that it's bearish. These are sells, 100% bid side. And so let's look over at the Coinbase chart. Maybe there's something interesting there, but I feel like, I'm going to pull up the request list. Where do I have that? And I'm just going to clear these off from yesterday real quick. But yeah, let's explore Coinbase to see what might be going on. I assume it's down a lot, and because Bitcoin and whatnot is down a lot. So let's check this out. Yeah. So when did they sell their calls? They sold their calls at 10:36. So that was like 6 minutes ago, as far as I understand. I'm still getting familiar with unusual whales. And so 10:36, let's look at this on the minute time scale. They sold their calls at, right here. It could be maybe the top's in. Maybe the top's in, but there's this gap here. I don't know when they opened their position, but that's up 17% from the lows. So yeah, I just put out that video up by BTFD Bitcoin at 52K. And so let's see, I'm going to look at it on Coinbase. Yeah, so I was talking about 52K, did dip down to 50. I talked about that in the video. 48K, the low so far was 49,050. And, we're back in this, what looks like a bull flag. So, I think that we're seeing buy the dip opportunities. And, I know not everybody's going to agree with me on Dogecoin. I feel like Bitcoin is, in my opinion, it's like really tough to argue with that. I feel like, sure, it's speculative, but I feel like it's sound. And that to me, it makes me think it's like a no-brainer. But, I've been adding more aggressively as it's been coming down. But by aggressively, I could be doing these aggressive buys for the next few days. So I'm not too concerned about it. If price does come down to 48K, I kind of reassess. But right here, I think that's good. Before I switch over to Doge, I'm going to, Bitcoin is crashing too. Yeah, for sure. I just wanted to see the live chat there from Antoine. But yeah, I think that this crash, let's look at, just get a measurement from the low up to current price. That's up 10%. So in any crash is a dip buying opportunity. And I was going to look at Dogecoin here. And I will do, let's see, I will do Doge to USD from Binance, because Coinbase doesn't have as much data. This is just a measurement to, where I think price could be going. But yeah, I've been buying the dip on Doge. I have an order placed at 8 cents. The low was 8.05 cents. That's not being filled. But, I've been adding below 10 cents, and I could still be doing that right now. And yeah, I think that Doge could be going up to $1 a coin in 2025. Maybe not by the end of this year. And so, I have a lot of conviction in Doge and in Bitcoin, but whereas Bitcoin's more of a long-term retirement fund type of thing, Doge is more of a accumulate as much as I can while it's around 10 cents, 20 cents, whatever, and then when it gets up to $1 a coin or prior all-time highs, sell half of the position, take a lot of great profit. And then just hold the rest to see what happens, because I don't want to completely exit something like this if it maybe goes up to $2 a coin. That would just be crazy. But yeah, I feel like that, Bitcoin is, like the new age gold. Want to be holding that, whereas Doge is, could be a nice medium of exchange. It's, an amount that if it gets up to $1, that's a convenient number to be exchanging with, and it's fun. So I think that's important. We got to have fun with this stuff. But yeah, Coinbase here, I was going to look at this. I got on kind of a tangent there. But Coinbase 195 call, they sold this with an average premium, or average fill price of $5.97. And so this is a call 195 expiring this week. So let's check out the options table here. So calls 195 expiring this week. They sold at $5.97. It's now worth $6.20 on, so that's sold. $5.97. Yeah, they sold at $5.97. It is now worth $5. So, good for them for doing that. They avoided, that $97 times 20. And so that's a notable savings there. But looking at the chart, I could see this being an overreaction and a bounce to fill that gap. But, that could have also just been a swing that was taking place during the day. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to scroll back up to the top and we can see more recent trades. Just scrolling down. I've gone over that one. And I might actually adjust this volume over open interest to 2. Kind of reduces, what we're seeing here. And LMD, this is what stock? Lemonade. Their Lemonade Insurance Company is a licensed insurance carrier offering homeowners and renters insurance powered by artificial intelligence. So it's an AI play. And so this is 100% on the ask side. So while it's green, that might seem good, but this is a put with a strike of $15. So I'm going to pull up over here, LMND. Look at the chart here. So that's a put with a strike of 15. That's a buy. And the average fill price. Let's see. This is a put. Average fill price for this week, 15 is the strike. Then the average fill for buying was 60. And so this order was just placed, and this is a premium, a total premium of over 36,000. So that's not just a YOLO from Wall Street Bets of 10,000. This is almost 4 times that. And that is, $60 there. And so that order was just placed. So maybe this continues lower. Let's look at the chart. I could see it coming down to 14. So maybe there's something there. For me, I'm not going to risk $60 on that. But that is, unusual whale activity right there. So, yeah, and I guess I can do a Fibonacci retracement here from the low of 1403 up to the high of 2455. And from that, we've broken below the 786. If we don't close above 1628 today or tomorrow, I think this is coming down to 14. So that could be a very valid way to make some money shorting this. And the expiration is 11 days, so it's not this coming Friday, it's the following Friday. So that's kind of intriguing. I'm going to stream for about 12 more minutes probably. But maybe this is something I'll look into after the stream. Maybe place an order. I don't have an order in it, but that could be a quick kind of trade. This comes down lower. And or down to 15. But I don't know. I probably won't be taking advantage of it because it is a speculative one. But look back over at unusual whales. Lemonade there. Other ones that stand out. Boyle. Ooh, this is a call. I hold some Boyle. I'm intrigued by this. I must say. Premium is 14,000, so it's still not crazy, but it is over the 10,000 YOLO. But maybe this is just gambling. This is for an expiration on August 16th, so not this Friday, but next Friday. This is out of the money, 1050 call. Let's look at the chart. This is something, that I'd potentially be interested in. Yeah, I'll just put it up here rather than going over to the natural gas one. Boyle. Yeah, so 1050. Oh, I'm excited by this. This is a leveraged ETF, 2x leveraged, but then getting options is like compounding that leverage. I find that to be interesting. But let's see. This is $14 for a call, 1050, expiring next week. So let's look at calls expiring next week. 1050 strike is what I said, I believe. To buy that, $15. So they're up $1 per contract, and they've got 1,000 contracts. So they're up $1,000 already. And this order was just placed at 5 minutes ago. And so, what is the price of 820? Man, gambling. It's bad. It's bad news. I'm intrigued by that because I do hold some Boyle. I think 4 shares, three or 4 shares, so nothing crazy. Just trying to have fun with it. But, 1050 by the end of next week. I'm thinking about that, man. Let's look at the natural gas chart and see maybe that. I don't think haven't done a good job updating the chart. Oops, natural up. You know what I'm thinking. And so, I've drawn all these levels, kind of a mess. And so what I might do is I might just clear not all of these off, but I might clear this Fibonacci off, and I might clear this one off as well. Just cleaning up the chart a little bit. This level, clearly not important anymore. This level, maybe we'd be bouncing up to it, so I might leave it there. But I do have this one. And, what we'd want is to look for support. And so we could draw a line here, draw a line here. That doesn't look too encouraging. And I want to be encouraged. Yeah, I feel like Gareth Soloway's done some analysis on this. That's probably way more useful than anything I could do. But yeah, that'll be coming down to like 160. But, I just deleted it, but I might put it back up there. Do a Fibonacci here. Or below that golden pocket. The 786 is around 186. So maybe there's support there. And I'm just trying to see. Yeah, okay. So what I probably want to do is not that trend line, but maybe one from, this is like kind of a head and shoulders over here. And then, I don't know, this is kind of getting into hopium territory. But, I don't like the shading on this style. Let's see. Background. No background, please. It's too much. But yeah, got the golden pocket there. We're below it. 786 could correspond with that. So 186, 190. So I could see this going lower. So yeah, I will not take advantage of the unusual whale stuff, but I'm intrigued by it. Yeah, and with that being said, I'm going to look at SoFi a little bit because that is one that I'm interested in. I'm intrigued by as far as unusual options go. And so rather than pulling up my holding list, I'm just going to do this here. 650, man. Was that a dip buying opportunity at $6? Man. Yeah. So I think that's kind of a nice example of why, if you see unusual whales activity after the close, it's not really going to be that useful because this drop had already happened. Position closed here and then price goes up. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And so that makes me think I'm a little bit more intrigued by that lemonade order to just have fun with it because that was just recently filled. And so these are, live. Yeah, I think there might be an ad popping up in a second, but I'm just going to find that lemonade order here. So this was a put filled at this. And I might actually just look up lemonade on here to filter for that. And so we have some orders here. And, these are puts. This is bearish. Calls being sold. That's bearish. Let's see what kind of premium there. 15,000. And these are all today. This one, again, bearish, 13,000. But, looking at the chart of lemonade, we've just seen it going up. But yeah, I'm intrigued by... And these are all, I should note, these are all pretty big orders. Individually, premium over 1,000, but the volume is greater than open interest by a factor of 2. As you can see, that's behind Ed. I'm sorry, I'll move it up. There you can see my filter here. Volume over open interest is 2, is the minimum. And so here, average fill of 60. I'm not going to place an order. Yeah, SoFi was a good dip buy. I could have been more aggressive at 6, but I picked up, I think, 2 shares at 603 and 1 share at 6. So again, I'm not a big fish. But let's see. I think my average is 645, so I'm in the green now. So if it goes lower, that's fine. I can continue to get my average down. If it goes higher, I'm in the green, so I'm good. But yeah, let's look at lemonade options puts for next week. $15 strike, 55 for a buy. So they're red a little bit. So yeah, I mean, maybe that's a fun gamble to risk $55. I don't know. And so yeah, Antoine asked, what about electricity? SoFi, good dip buy. And we could look at Plug Power. They've got earnings coming up. This was, another, let's see. I bought, I think I bought a call on them. I'm just going to check my phone to see. So, yeah, Plug Power. I have 5 shares at an average price of $6.30. And I was buying over the past few weeks, but I was doing it very slow and aggressively. I don't have a huge position. It's worth $32, but it's something. But yeah, looking at my phone, I'm just going to do this alphabetically on my phone so I can see. Sorry, I just need to see my positions on my phone. They're not on the big screen. But yeah, looking at Plug, I sold a covered call. It's fine. And let's see, I thought I bought a call. Let's see. Yeah, well, I'm just going to check what orders were filled. I bought a plug contract. It was a call with a $2.50 strike. Expiration not this Friday, but next Friday. I put $8 on the line. Now it's worth 10. And so that's one, I'll buy another contract at $7 if it goes lower, but I might hold this through earnings and see what happens. And, if I 100% gain at 2x, I'm only making $8, but this is good practice. Practice makes perfect. And so, yeah. Yeah, I mean, am I going to regret not buying more? Yeah, I mean, thinking about, me, am I going to regret? I'm probably not going to be, Greg, you're saying, hey, what's up, Greg? I'm not going to sign off before I say hi to you. But you say that a first-time buyer of Chipotle, LOL, got it a while ago. Thumbs up. And so I might pull up Chipotle, which I believe is is it C, Chipotle, C, it's something CH Grill. Is it CHG? No. Chipotle, CMG, Chipotle Mexican Grill. All right. So I'll add that here. And let's look at the chart. Bounce, pretty nice. It's down 2% on the day, but that bounce is up 6%. And I had noticed some unusual whales activity last week on Chipotle Mexican Grill. I didn't look into it because I don't have them. And yeah, their stock price is above $10. So I didn't partake in that. But let's see. I'm just going to adjust this volume over open interest to 1 and see if we get some. Looking at stuff on Tuesday, so there were some alerts that were bullish. This is in the morning on Friday of last week. This is 125,000 nearly. And the average fill for that, for the expiration coming up this week. So let's just look at this. Let's just see what's going on with this one. So this is a $55 call strike for this coming week, $55 strike. That was 100% ask, so buys at an average price of 25 cents. So if we look at those, 55 call, those are worth 25 cents for the buy, but then to sell on the bid side, that's what we'd be looking at. So buying at 25, and then now it will be a sell at 20, so that'd actually be a loss. So they either took profits, let's see, following whatever up move here on Friday, because they had morning buy. Let's look at this on the hourly. They bought, around, at open, right around open. And so maybe they took their profits here, and then this has gone down. Or if they didn't, they're out a lot of money. But yeah, back at and maybe, I don't know. Maybe. There are too many maybes. But I don't see anything, appear for today that suggests call or put or anything like that. But yeah, so, hopefully that's helpful. Referring to some of the unusual whales options activity. This, though, I think that, they've been up for quite some time. Let's switch over to the weekly time frame. Yeah, this is the COVID lows, I believe. So just going from the COVID lows, which is maybe arbitrary, up to the high. I think that this could find some support at 46, right around there. That's the 382. But what seems more likely is the 50% around 38, 39, because we do have a bounce here, or a rejection here that could be support in the future. Also, this price action here, I think that could be acting as support as well, around 42. So getting into this region, I could see price coming down to there. Golden pocket is a range right around $30, also being kind of, a round number. So maybe that's a good dip buy level. But maybe, we're in the time of, bear market rallies or, dead cat bounces. And so maybe we do see a bounce up to like 55, which is the 236 here. But yeah, I think a lot of stuff could be coming lower. And this, I could have, I'm just going to do it from the COVID low. I could have drawn it to here, something that you could do on your own chart if you want. But yeah, I think it's a good time to not be doing too many speculative plays, to be cautious with them and stuff. And on that note, I'm probably going to end the stream just so I can adjust some of the trades that, I've made, or the orders that I've placed. I did have some covered calls filled during the stream. And so I kind of just want to assess those. I keep track of all of my trades in a spreadsheet. and just to keep track of to kind of slow down the pace, really. An order gets filled, I want to put it in the spreadsheet so I can then reassess and then, maybe adjust future orders. And so for me, I think I might be wanting to sell a cash secured put on plug, maybe with a strike of 250, but then picking up those shares at around the current price. And then same with Luminar is another one that I might want to do that. Their current price is right around $1.30. They've got earnings coming up this week. And I'm looking at this on the weekly. That's why we're not seeing it coming up tomorrow. And so maybe price does go lower, but I'd be happy to add to my position. Another one that I'm interested to add to my position. I just have one share right now, but it's right around my buy level at 170. I've got a cash secured put limit order placed with a strike of $2, but a limit of 29 cents. So that put my average buy at 169, just having fun with it. But I did mention that earlier in the stream. And with that being said, with me repeating myself, I'm going to close this down as it has been more than an hour. I hope this was helpful for you guys. And if it was, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you like the videos that do help you out, and always share your thoughts, whether in the live chat or the comments down below. And make sure you subscribe to the channel for more streams and content like this. I will be streaming again today for Palantir's earnings, which I'm going to pull up here. PLTR, just so we can see that. And I do think that, we have bounced, we have hit this level, and so I think that it could be going up higher following earnings. So I would look for, some moves to the upside. Even though I put out a video suggesting that price is going lower, I think, note in that video that price could be coming down leading up to earnings, and we did see that. And we have seen a pretty nice bounce going up from the open, about 7.5%, going up from the low of today, around 10%. So pretty nice swing there, pretty nice dip buying opportunities, but always good to be prepared for if this is a dead cat bounce. No matter the time frame, if I adjust this to the 1 hour time frame, maybe this is a dead cat bounce and we do go lower. So do be cautious. We are now, if I look over at the SPX, we are now looking like, the top is in up here. And, I went over this in the stream last night. I believe I'm actually going to pull up the SPY because I did it on that chart. But, this is what I could see happening. And maybe it happens a little quicker, a little more dramatic than I kind of mapped it out. But hopefully that's helpful. Thanks, Antoine. So I hope you guys have a great day trading. I'm probably going to start the Palantir stream before the market closes. And I'm excited. I bought the dip on Palantir, and I hope that it goes up after earnings at this point. But I could see that it goes lower. I have no idea. So I'm positioned, happy if it goes up, happy if it goes down, and that's the way to trade the market right now because it is a little bit precarious. But I hope you guys have a great trading day or day at work or a day away from the stuff. I'm not working today, so I'm probably just going to be relaxing a little bit, checking up on the charts, maybe placing some orders, and I'm excited for that Palantir stream. I look forward to seeing you guys maybe 15 minutes before the market closes, so that's going to be around 3:45 Eastern, and that is 2:45 for me because I'm in Iowa. Have a great day.